Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a winter book haul for you guys. All of these books are books that I basically got at the end of last year. There's a couple that I got at the beginning of this year, but since I'm not buying books really anymore, I kind of just wait until I've accumulated enough to justify a video. So this is me accumulating enough to justify a video. So first off, I'm going to start with the books that I've already read. These first three are ones that I actually got for my birthday. A friend gave me a Barnes & Noble gift card, so I decided to buy some books. So the first book that I picked up was Signal to Noise by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I've talked about this book constantly because it's my favorite book of last year. So I will link to the full review that I did of this. A lot of you guys have picked this up actually because of my recommendation and have enjoyed it, which is just great to hear. I'm so glad that other people are enjoying this book. But yeah, I read this in early 2015 and I got it from the library, and it was one of those books where I was just like, I have to buy my own copy of it because I love it so much. And so when I got the gift card for my birthday, I finally did it. The next book that I got was China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan, which is the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians. I talked about this in my Bout of Books wrap up because I read it for Bout of Books last month, and so I will link to that so you guys can find out more about it. But I definitely like this and I'm going to be continuing on with the series. But I was very excited when I got that gift card because I kind of wanted a hardcover version of this because I have Crazy Rich Asians in hardcover and they look really nice with their gold spines next to each other. And then the final one that I got was Saga Volume 5 with that gift card. Again, I talked about this in my Bout of Books wrap up, so I will just link to that so you guys can find out more of my thoughts on this one. But I liked it, didn't love it. Next I have this edition of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This is one of the Barnes & Noble leather-bound classics editions. I've had this on my wish list for Christmas, and so my brother-in-law ended up buying this for me, which I'm very, very excited about. It's super gorgeous. If you guys have seen my bookshelf tour, you know that I enjoy collecting editions of To Kill a Mockingbird. It also has the gold edges. This is what the end papers look like. Like, it's just a really, really beautiful edition. This isn't an edition that I plan on like reading. It's kind of just one I have sitting very beautifully on my bookshelf. And then towards the end of last year, I purged a bunch of books, which you guys may have seen when I was reorganizing my bookshelves, and I took a bunch of them to half-price books, and I used some of that money to buy myself books before I knew I wasn't going to be allowed to at the beginning of this year. So two of the things I was looking for in half-price books were either books in translation or classics, because those are two things that I am lacking in my own collection of books that I have here. So I was able to find a pretty decent number of them, all for pretty cheap, because half-price books is pretty cheap. So the first one I have here is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I tried to read Love in the Time of Cholera when I was in like college, I want to say, and I wasn't really a big fan of it, but I also didn't know what I was walking into. I just knew that Gabriel Garcia Marquez was a really famous writer, and so I figured I should try to read one of his books. But I've heard this one is significantly better than that one as well. I've heard a lot of people have issues with Love in the Time of Cholera, but really, really love this one. So I wanted to give this a try, and this is actually surprisingly hard to find a used copy of. I think people hold on to this one when they read it. Then I picked up The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. This is the edition that I actually really enjoy. So when I saw this one available, I ended up picking it up. It's really, really short. It's a series of vignettes, and it's all about this Latina girl, or growing up as a Latina in Chicago, I believe. So I'm excited to read this because it's one of those like classics that a lot of people in Chicago end up reading in high school, but we never had to read it, so I'm excited to finally add this to my repertoire. Then I have Sherman Alexie's The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fistfight in Heaven. I read The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian years ago, and I've been meaning to pick up more Sherman Alexie books, so I decided that I would try to find some more, and so I found this one at half-price books and picked it up immediately. Then I picked up The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. Yep, nailed that one. This is one of those Russian novels that I've heard only amazing things about, and I've been wanting to pick it up for so long, so I was very excited when I saw this at half-price books. This one is translated by Diana Bergen and Catherine Tiernan O'Connor, and so I looked this one up, and it has a pretty good reviews in terms of the translation copy. It's one of the more readable ones, which is definitely something I look for when reading Russian novels specifically, because they can get a little bit confusing. And then I have the Brothers Karamazov, I never know how to pronounce that, by Dostoevsky. I read Crime and Punishment in high school and absolutely loved it, and I've heard really, really great things about this one as well. This is probably going to be like my 2017 big book, just as like a heads up for the future, but I have a very strong feeling that I'm not going to get to this one this year. But I saw this and I really like this cover, and I believe this is a P&V translation. Hold on, let me double check that. Yeah, it is P&B. So they are very well known for their Russian translations of these like classic authors. I read their translation of War and Peace, and so I'm always looking for their editions of books if I can find them. So I was very excited when I saw that it has a beautiful cover and is also a P&B translation. So this will probably be read in 2017, probably not anytime soon. Whenever I find copies of books at used bookstores like this, I always try to pick them up because you don't really see one editions like this at used bookstores or like the perfect translation at a used bookstore. And then the final book that I have for you guys today is a book that was sent to me by the publisher, and that is Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari and Eric Kleinberg. This was sent to me by Penguin UK. So this is the UK paperback edition of Modern Romance, and I love it so much. I wasn't planning on like ever buying this book really. I figured I would just get it from the library, but then they contacted me and I saw the edition that they were going to send me, and this is just so gorgeous. Like, why don't all books look like this? So yeah, this is the front, and then it also has like the orange spine and this great orange back, the classic penguin orange. I love it so much. I'm just excited to like own this as a physical object. I'm going to read it eventually, but just the fact that I have this gorgeous, gorgeous book in my collection makes me happy, so thank you to Penguin UK for that. So yeah, that's everything that I have for you guys today. If you've read any of these books, feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys thought of them, or if there's specific ones that you want me to read sooner rather than later. I always do try to take that into account when figuring out what books of mine to read. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.